around the Mount Batu. Next one, please. We had been developed this marching sheet for about 7 years. We need 7 years. So in the many experiments we carried out, and then we found that many functions of this sheet was found during the experiment. So some samples we show the G's figure, and rainfall occurred on the slopes. The rain and water is flow out inside of the sheet. So the rain could not disturb the surface of soil. So it is very effective to the heavy rain. So another function, the maintenance of the moisture under the sheet was indicated. Also, maintenance of relatively higher temperature under the sheet in winter was also observed. So we have many useful functions were observed about this marching sheet. The mycorrhizal fungi, you know, the very useful microbes for plants, because these fungi are symbiotic microorganisms with plant and trees. So these mycorrhiza support to the growth of the plant and the trees, and then accelerated to the initial growth of the plant. So this mycorrhiza is very useful to the devastated area. So the early stage of the plant and trees is accelerated by the mycorrhiza. The next slide, please. This photograph indicates the pine trees. The left side, young pine trees. Left side is control without mycorrhiza. The right side is mycorrhiza inoculated to the plant. And then after 6 months of left figure, the weight and the growth of young seedlings of pine trees is quite different data we got. Therefore, the symbiosis of mycorrhizal fungi to plant roots is promote to the plant growth and promote the revegetation and promote of the soil erosion. This is very useful. And we got many experimental fields. We get the same results. And the next slide, please. From now, we show you to some typical construction site in Japan. This first slide is Naganoyama mountainside of Japan in Yamaguchi Prefecture. And this mountainside is about 1,000-meter height. Therefore, in winter's time, the G's slope completely frozen. And in the spring, the grass and trees and the regrowth in the summertime. But this one is after 5 months of construction of marching sheet. This one you see after 4 years and half years. This one is after 10 years later. So this situation is almost similar to before the construction of mulching sheet of these slopes. And another data, you can see the number of microorganisms under control and the sheet plot and the mulching sheet plot. We compare the three places. The mulching sheet plot, under the mulching sheet, the microbes increased than the other plot. So the soil formation proceed in the mulching sheet plot. Next one, please. This one is also the same experimental site, but this place is another place in Miyazaki Prefecture. This was Shirasu, you know, the typical volcanic ash soils, white volcanic ash soils. So very difficult to stop the erosion. However, we applied to the Takino mulching sheet. After 1 year, we also measure the microbial biomass is larger in the mulching sheet plot than the control bear plot. This figure shows that after two months after construction, these green slopes is a mulching sheet plot. The former slope is without mulching sheet. So some of the soils eroded already. Next one, please. This one is Nagasaki Prefecture. Mount Fugendake is very famous active volcano. This volcano exploded in 1994. So the many pyroclastic flow occurred from the mountainside. Many people died at that time. And after the explosion, most of the southern slope of the mountain burned completely. Next slide, please. We applied to the greenback by helicopter because this area is very, very devastated area, so nobody couldn't enter the slopes. So we used a helicopter and we broadcast of greenbacks by helicopter. The construction time is 1995, the next year of the explosion. 4 years later, we observed this situation. The height of trees is about 5 to 7 meters. Very, very easy to recover the forest because Japan is summertime and the rainy season is we had many rain and temperature is not so cool. Next one, please. This one is also another experiment site. The Hiroshima Prefecture, and this one is a situation of construction of dam. The both side of the dam is completely rock. So very difficult to recover the revegetation and the forestation. But we try. This one is 9 years later after construction, 228 years. About 9 years later. Next slide, please. This one is same slopes about 15 years later. This site is a construction site, but almost the same before the construction of dam. So it's very easy to recover the vegetation forestation, but the cost is very high. So many money we used. However, we can recover the slopes. The next one, please. This one is a very, very interesting joint project between Udayana University and Yamaguchi University. And this project supported by JICA. In the surrounding of Mount Bari, the lava flows deposit accompanying with a great eruption in 1917 and 1926 remains extensively still now. So very, very big eruptions occurred. And you know the amount of Mount Batu in this area of scoria soil. The soil erosion occurs by the heavy rainfall in rainy season every year. And mud water and the eroded soil flow into Lake Batu, you know. The depth of Lake Batu is every year is become short. That is a problem for the water supply for the valley. So the water quality deterioration and the sedimentation are making problems. Therefore, making effective measures to prevent the soil erosion of scoria soil is an urgent issue in Bali, around the Batu Mountain. Therefore, we made a joint project among Udayana University, Yamaguchi University, and Technofilter Company by the support of JICA. Japan for reforestation, devastated area of Mount Batu, Bali, was started in 2012, about 5 years ago. At the foot of Mount Batu, 2 experiment sites we selected, Site A and B. Site A is a weathering of lava area. Site B is a black-colored scoria area. 2 areas we selected. And then this is a application time. And Site B and Site A is here. This figures about 5 months later after construction of mulching sheet and back. Together we combined. The box is used for the trees growth. The inside of the box we contain some kind of tree sheet. And then after that, the germinated was occurred and then growing up. Both sites were covered by MS and GB in December 2012, respectively. But after 5 months, vegetation cover is MS plot in Site A tended to the higher of 56%.